good. Mhm. So you've just gotten a trading bot and you're excited that the bot will actually give you money. But you've started trading and things are not really going your way. And you're wondering why. Well, this is some of the things that you need to know on what you need to do so that your trading bot can actually work. Hello, my name is the DERIV Kings here, or Emmanuel as my government name says. And I'm here to explain to you how the trading bot that you have has to work and what you're supposed to do for it to actually work. Now, the first thing that many people do when they get these trading bots is assume that this piece of software will just miraculously make money for you. Now, as much as that's possible, that is not realistic, because majority of the people who are getting into this business, they are beginners, especially people getting into trading on DERIV with bots. These guys are beginners. Majority of them have never traded a day in their lives, and they're not as conversant with the business as maybe someone who's been doing it for 5-10 years, right? Now, the first thing that you need to do is understand what a trading bot can do and what it cannot do. The first thing is, a trading bot obviously will be helping you in analyzing the business. Now, if I look at some of the notes I've written here about what a trading bot does, it helps you in capitalizing on the opportunities of making money by simply using its features which are market friendly, its features which actually help you in market analysis. It helps you in predicting the market movement, and it actually helps you in processing this data and saving up on time. Those are some of the things that the bot can actually do. But even as you're using those aspects in real time when trading, there are other things that you also need to do. As much as the bot will be able to make decisions for you, you will also need to do your own work. Now, that's one of the things that the bot can do. Now, what the bot cannot do is, it will not just generate profits automatically simply because you have uploaded it in your account and you've pressed run the bot. No, you'll have to do extra things for it to actually work, right? You will have to do some market analysis. You will have to know what type of bot you're using in the first place, your target profit, your stop loss, your trading balance also matters, okay? Because it depends on the bot. For example, for those of you guys who want to use matches and differs, matches and differs requires a lot of money. Why? Because if you want to make, let's say, $100 a day or $100 as profit with matches and differs, the first thing you need to know is, with matches and differs, you need to trade with something like $1,000 plus, right? Where a trade where the stake is $100 will give you something like $10 or $9. And if that stake goes at a loss, the next stake has to be times 10, 11, 12 of that amount. So if you're staking $100 and it goes at a loss, the next trade run will be times 10 of that, which is 1,000 or 1,100 or $1,200. Okay, and if those two trade runs go at a loss, then the third stake will be times 10, 11, 12 of that $1,200. So you need a lot of money, right? So such type of bots require money, and there are others which really don't require a lot of money for you to actually make some profits with. So that's some of the things that you need to do, that the bot will not just guarantee you profits. You need to have a broader trading strategy, and many people who are getting into this business do not have that. So that's number one. Number two, that there are some of the things that you need to know for you to make your bot work is, you need to know its contract type and which one pays the most. Now, I've already talked about matches and differs. It pays you 10% per trade run. If you stake $1 and it goes and the trade run comes in as a win, you'll make $0.99, right? If you stake $1, it will be $0.09 as profit. If you stake $10, it will be $0.99 per trade run as profit. If you stake $100, it will be $9.9 or something of the sort per stake per run and profit as well. Now, the ones that I normally use are for rise and fall, because rise and fall pay pretty much 90% plus profit per trade run. So if you stake $1 and it goes well in your favor, that trade run will give you something like $0.9596 as profit. Okay, that means if you are aiming to make $10 a day, $20 a day, $30 a day, you can actually get there faster compared to if you're using matches and differs. You can also get there faster if you're using higher lower, because it operates something similar to rise and fall. You can try touch, no touch, but you need to know something. You need to know your barrier offsets. Same as higher low, you need to know your barrier offsets, because every entry point and exit point has a high and a low. So if you enter the trade with a specific entry point that you are targeting, and you've said that you want to trade on does not touch, then you need to make sure that by the end of that trade run, the exit point is not more than the entry point, because if it's more than, it means it touched the entry point and probably got close to or even touched the barrier offset. For example, if your barrier offset is 0.100 and your entry point is 6900.000 and you say it does not touch, but the exit point is 6900.500, it means that it touched and surpassed it by 0.400. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you can also use that as an example, or you can trade with rise and fall, which I love most. You can also do over and under, but then that depends on the prediction. It depends on the digits you've used as over and the digits you've used as under. So those are some of the things that you need to know about the trading bot. Then you need to know the duration of the particular trade run. Some bots are preset to say 1 minute, some 10 seconds, some 5 ticks. Some will run for whichever amount of time you want it, maybe a day. That is if you want to trade with a bot for a whole day. But I will not advise you to do that. Okay, so you need to know that. You need to know the stake. What stake are you using? And it needs to be in relation to your trading balance. I usually tell people, if you're trading with something like $10, make sure your stake is 0.35. Ikienda sana, or if it goes too high, it needs to be maybe 0.5. If you really know what you're doing, you can put it at $1. But that's if you know what you're doing. Okay, and many people are actually beginners. So the third thing is, you need to acknowledge that you need some analysis. Now this is where it separates people who are actually making money from DERIV and people who are not making money from DERIV. Number one, when you buy a trading bot, do not just assume this thing will make money for you automatically. Now some bots will do that, but they are very expensive for you to buy. You'll find someone selling that bot at $500, $1,000, right? The average trading bots that we have are usually between $50 to maybe $120 in terms of amount when it comes to buying it. So you need to know that by using the trading bot, you need to have a broader trading strategy. You need to know how to analyze the market. You need to know which indicators do you use. Now let me use my own. I do not know too much about trading, but the information that I've gathered in the last maybe 1.5 years of using this system is that I personally use only maybe 3 indicators. Number 1, I use MACD. Number 2, I use RSI, relative strength index. Number 3, I use awesome oscillator, which is actually my favorite. And number 4, I use an analysis tool. Okay, so when I use those 4 instruments, or those 4 options, or those 4 aspects in terms of market analysis, I'm pretty sure that when I trade, I will not go at extreme losses. Okay, so when you're buying a trading bot, make sure you also know how to do that. And if you're buying a trading bot from someone and you do not know how to do that, that person is supposed to help you learn how to do that. Market analysis. It's very simple on DERIV when you're using trading bots. And you can trade on DERIV on multiple parts. For me, I use binary bot, obviously. I trade on dbot as well, which I've recently come to love. I trade on smart trader. Now there, you are not using any bot. You're simply focusing on the chart and how the market is moving at that particular time. It's almost like gambling, but it actually has given me a lot of money. Trust me, I've made way more money on smart trader compared to dbot and binary bot. combined. Okay, so for me, I would use that. And for you, if you want to get into the business, make sure you know how to do market analysis. Or if you're buying a boat from either me or from anyone else, make sure they can teach you on how to do some kidogo market analysis for you to be safe, so that you don't go at extreme losses. Then you start complaining here that these things don't work. No, you do not. You don't know what you're doing. You understand? So the fourth point, which is going to be my last one, is manage your expectations. Now, a lot of Kenyans who get into binary boat trading on DERIV have this weird mentality that they'll become millionaires overnight. And I don't know why you think that that will happen. No one becomes a millionaire overnight, and if that ever happens, it's because they did some work in the past that you probably don't know about. Now, when you get into this business, manage your expectations. Number one, do not expect to trade with $10 and make $100 that day. I'm talking to beginners and intermediaries, not professionals, because professionals can do that. If you're a beginner, or if you've been doing this for a very short time, maybe less than a year, do not expect to make $100 out of $10. That will be dependent on so many things. Number one is your skill set. Number two is, if you're trading with boats, what type of a boat are you using? Now, the super good boats that you can trade with $10 and make $100 are expensive. Now, how many Kenyans can afford to buy a trading boat for $500? Most of you guys cannot afford that. Personally, I have probably one or two boats which are that amount, right? But those ones are not for sale. Those ones are just for my own, right? So you cannot expect to trade with $10 and make $100 a day. That will never happen. Never in a million years, unless you know what you're doing. And taking accountability in terms of skills takes time for you to actually know how to trade properly. And I'm talking about forex trading, not just trading with bots. It will take a lot of time. Personally, I'm not even good in forex. I'm good in trading on DERIV with binary bots, but I'm not good in forex, right? But that information takes time, so you need to manage your expectations. Number two, do not expect to buy a trading bot for $10 and make money. That will never happen. Who's selling a trading bot for $10? And let me ask you something. If you had something that can give you $20 a day, how much will you sell it for? Right? If you had an app, if you had a software, if you had a shoe, if you had a house, if you had a dog which can give you $20 a day, how much will you sell it for? So those are the things you need to keep asking yourself as you get into this business. Manage your expectations. I always tell people, target 10 to 20% of profit a day as a beginner. Once you become a pro, you can make 100% more than, but that depends. But you can make more as time goes by. But as a beginner, target 10 to 20% profit, and you'll be fine. And with those few words, I hope you've learned something. If you want any of the books that I have, you know where to find me. My number is right there. If you have any questions, please understand that I'm a busy person. I will still answer your questions, but I will not help you trade for free. I do not do account management. Neither do I give out free bots. Neither am I in the business of just assisting people simply because I have a good heart. No, this is a business, and you need to know that you need to spend money for you to make money. It's automatic. There's no other way, right? So with those few words, I hope you've learned something. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to pander to your wild thoughts. I'm not here to overhype things. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to be honest, right? And if those words have made some sense, please share this video, like it, subscribe. If you're on TikTok, make sure you share it as well. Make sure you tag people, and tujenge nchi pamoja. Thanks for your time.